Hallo zusammen, einen wunderschönen guten Tag. Can you remember how to say the numbers 1 to 60 in German? Some of the examples you will see on the screen right now, such as 1, 2, 3, and so on. If you cannot remember them and if you do not feel confident using them in German, I would suggest you pause the video right now, have a look at your diaries or at your exercise books, and revise those numbers because they are an essential part of telling the time, which we're going to look at in this video. So we are going to start. Let's have a look at this clock. It says 2 o'clock. If you want to say it is 2 o'clock, you would say es ist 2 Uhr. So it is means es ist, 2 is 2, and Uhr is the German expression for o'clock. If you want to say it is 2:15, you would say es ist Viertel nach 2. So Viertel nach is the German expression for quarter past. Nach is the German word for past. If you want to say 1:45, you would say es ist Viertel vor 2. So the only word that has really changed is the German word vor, which means 2. So 1:45 means Viertel vor. Now this means 2:30, and that is a major difference from telling the time in English and in German. So in English you would say it is 2:30. In German you would say es ist 2:30. Now you may wonder why does it say 3 down here if actually the time is 2:30. And that's a very good question. So 2:30 is what you would say in English. However, in German we count to the next hour. So we say it's half an hour to go until 3 o'clock. So another example, if you want to say it is 2:30, in German you would say it is 3:30. So on the screen right now you see the English time 2:30, and in German you would say it's 2:30 because we count up to the next hour. If you want to say it is midday, you would say es ist Mittag. And if you want to say it is midnight, you would say es ist Mitternacht. So let's have a quiz. So in a second you will see German expressions, sometimes also English expressions. On the bottom there is a mouse. Now if she finds her way back to the hole, then by that time your time's up and you need to come up with the right English or German expression. I will then afterwards reveal what is the correct answer. So let's have a look. It says es ist 3 Uhr, which means it is 3 o'clock. Es ist Viertel vor 6, it is 5:45. Es ist Viertel nach 7, it is 7:15. It is 8:15, es ist Viertel nach 8. It is 10:30, es ist 10:30. So even though it says 10:30, we say it's half an hour to go until 11 o'clock. And it is midnight, es ist Mitternacht. So in the first part of this video, what we did is we looked at the 12-hour clock. Now in German we use something that's called the 24-hour clock. So we actually don't say it is 2 p.m. because in German a word such as AM or PM does not exist. We say then es ist 14 Uhr. So 2 p.m. what we would say is es ist 14 Uhr. So literally translated, it would mean it is 14 o'clock. Now you could also say es ist 2 Uhr. So both ways is fine. However, we would most commonly use the 24-hour clock. Now if you want to say it is 6:30 p.m. in the 24-hour clock, what happens is you would say es ist 18:30 Uhr. So literally you would say it is 18 o'clock 30. So what you may have noticed is that we suddenly don't use the word halb anymore, which means half. And the reason is because in the 24-hour clock this does not exist. So in the 24-hour clock, you would say it is 18 o'clock 30. Using the 12-hour clock, the same time, you would say es ist 6:30, so it's half an hour to go until 7 o'clock. If you want to say 9:15, using the 24-hour clock, you would say es ist 21:15 Uhr, so it is 21 o'clock 15. If you were to use the 12-hour clock, you would say es ist 9:15, it is 9:15. So you again notice the word quarter past, or the expression quarter past, does not exist in the 24-hour clock. You only use those expressions using the 12-hour clock. So over to you. You may want to pause the video right now. So there are 4 different times on the screen, and you need to rewrite these times using the 24-hour clock. You may want to challenge yourself, think of another example, or also ask yourself, do the words midnight, so Mitternacht, and midday, Mittag, do they change if we use the 24-hour clock? So pause the video right now, then write down your answers, please. And I will reveal the answers in a second. So 3 p.m. We would say in the 24-hour clock, es ist 15 Uhr. 4:30, we would say es ist 16:30 Uhr. 22:11 p.m. 22:40, so 22:11 p.m. We would say es ist 22:40 Uhr, and 7:15, we would say es ist 19:15 Uhr. So what do we have to remember using the 24-hour clock? So we do not use the expressions Viertel vor, quarter to, Viertel nach, quarter past, and halb, which means half. So they do not exist in the 24-hour clock. We only use those expressions in the 12-hour clock. So an example of the 24-hour clock, we would say es ist 17:30 Uhr, so 5:30 p.m. And the words Mittag and Mitternacht, they do not change. They're set words. They do not change no matter if you use the 12-hour clock or if you use the 24-hour clock. So I hope this was a useful introduction for you, and you're now able to tell the time in German. Vielen Dank fürs Zuhören. Tschüss.